Welcome to Aries season 2022. I was about to say 2021, then I changed my mind. I want to welcome you, and I just want to immediately get right into it because I have a lot to say. Now, we are at an equinox. So, the sun and the sun's in Aries, the moon's in Scorpio when I'm making this video. So, the amount of daylight and night are equal. So March 20th is the equinox. It is the vernal spring equinox. Now, I'm doing this just a couple days after, but it's so important that it's right around the time of the equinox. So, it's almost like um, celebrating your birthday, but you're not celebrating your birthday on the exact day of your birthday, are you? You're celebrating it a couple of days after with your family, depending upon various situations. Your birthday might fall on a Wednesday, like mine does. Um, it's actually a couple weeks from now. Mine's on a Wednesday, and so obviously, celebrating it with my family on the weekends. So, getting into this Aries season, I'm just going to jump right in because there's so much to say, and I don't want to sit here, kind of holding on information and not saying it. So, Aries, just important little check off the boxes information about Aries. So, Aries is a fire sign. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It marks the very beginning of the astrological new year, and certainly March 20th is National Astrology Day. So, on that day, the sun moves into Aries in 0 degrees, stays there until the 19th of April. So, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's number one. It's representative of the symbol of the ram. So it's very go-getter because, rams fighting, going up to this hillside, going into, these bushes, and really all about the quest. And if you've seen rams fighting, that's really representative of that. Aries is also cardinal fire. So all of the signs are divided into modes, and cardinal signs are all about taking the lead, being that strong force who is going to really hold the family together or, you know, have a goal and commit to that goal and achieve it to the ends of the earth, or have this relationship and be very strong in the relationship. Um, all about mastering the relationship and where is the real balance in that relationship. I'm sure if you know astrology, you know what sign I'm talking about. And then we have Aries, which is all about you, yourself. It's all about the first house, which is the house of self. It's all about the relationship with yourself, how you present yourself, how you want to perceive yourself. What are you going to move out into the world as being when it comes to yourself? What are your goals? What do you want out of life? What do you need out of life? What is this next adventure that you want to go on um, in your life? Um, where I am is Aries saying. And in a way, where we look at the opposition of this, where we evolve, where we don't get so impulsive and argumentative, arrogant, bossy, pushy, demanding, fighting just for the sake of it, not for love and peace, but where we can, really collaborate and be really very co-independent, instead of falling into the trap of being codependent, where we can really, really have our strong sense of identity and really be in such alignment with ourselves, but we can also give so much to others and we can serve others. And we can take that motivation and drive that Aries can have and inspire others. That's a really, really high level for this sign. Wonderful things to do during this season would be to ride a bike, go outside, ride a motorcycle, go for a walk, go for a run. And what are you initiating? What new project do you want to get off the ground? What new goal do you want to start? It's all about what do you want to start? What do you want to initiate? It's all about initiations. It's all about the beginning. I personally want to initiate doing this monthly as the, astrology aspect of my channel. And also, and I'm saying it now, I'm not, it's not entirely set in stone. And also, I mean, I do have some plans, obviously. So that is what I want to initiate. And another thing is writing, really being writing horoscopes, writing stories, daily horoscopes, sun and moon and other planets and other aspects and things going on cosmically. And, really being creative, bringing a lot of things into it, expanding my mind with so many different things and how I'm writing, and really being very imaginative and very inventive as well with writing. So, those are my things. I'm sure that you have your things that you want to initiate as well. So, we're dealing with the fire sign. We're dealing with such a masculine fire sign. It's very, very masculine. It's very male energy, very dominant energy, very much in the physical plane, in the physical body. If we're thinking about the element of fire, which is all about enthusiasm and passion and spark and energy and bursts of magnetism and expansion, um, and vitality, where you want to live a sacred life, and fire signs are really, really here to remind us how sacred, how special this life is, and that we need to take advantage of it so very much and as much as we can. But if we think about the fire element, if we're looking at a fire and we're seeing the fire burn in a pit, in a flame mine sort of deal with coals and everything like that. If we're seeing it being lit, if we're seeing the fire being lit by a match, because Aries is the fire starter, Aries gets everything going. It's the pioneer. If you think about pioneer plants or the pioneers themselves who possibly settled the land, and then the colonists came over and they started everything off for the people to become birthed into civilization, and things were to develop, and but it would start with them. really, really start with them. They are the ones that get the ball rolling. And what gets the fire going? Having to keep the fire burning and going and alive. Fire signs need that mental and emotional and physical stimulation, needing a new adventure, needing a new quest, doing. It's an element associated with action. Um, and so, fire can be pretty destructive, and it's not, lukewarm. It is hot. It burns hot and vibrant. Where you touch it, it burns you. You'll get burned. So you can see it around the forest burning, and water, another element, puts the fire out. It calms down the fire when you're pouring water, thing of water onto it. And if it's a grease fire, then, baking soda, salt, something like that puts that out. Um, and earth, which is all about being very practical and being very steady, begins the fire. So I thought that I might mention that. Incredibly enthusiastic, really, really engaging energy. Really, there's an essence of really wanting to be there and show up in life. Like, in Aries parents, they have, I would imagine that they would be very, very playful and wanting to be very physical and very, oh, let's try this, let's try that. Very, open to new things, open to new challenges and venues. In life. And I mean, this can be so many things. This can, just be that variety of changing up, as simple as going to this new restaurant, going to this scenic outlook, or it could be, let's go to Paris. I've never been there before, or let's order this off the menu that I've never tried. Ways to keep things fresh, ways to keep things very expansive. And indeed, when Jupiter, the planet of expansion and growth, enters Aries, it's going to really be about how are we going to do things that are going to be new and different and exciting. So there's incredible enthusiasm. And, there's so many things I could say about enthusiasm as well, but I want to keep this brief and to the point and concise. You know, I think it's not about trying to make sure that you get as much information as possible can. It's just saying it well and saying enough, saying a good amount, but it's just the quality of how well you're saying the information. There's incredible motivation when it comes to Aries. They're incredibly motivated, that fire energy. Capricorn is symbolized by the goat wanting to climb the mountain, and they are a do it to it, stick to it. You know, they want to start from the beginning of writing their novel, and they plow through until the end. And, it's a very, very high powered sign, very high powered indeed. And they can be mistaken for being um, negative Nellies, very pessimistic. And I don't think that's right because, in order to have the determination, commitment, motivation, you know, the, to be, to do all the things that they want to do because it's very, it's all about fulfilling your promise, you know, being in total alignment with your purpose this lifetime. There has to be the chi energy. There has to be that fire energy, of the get up and go to be able to get that accomplished. So, um, if you think about, and I want to say something else about drive, like, there's a very, very famous Aries, who was a NASCAR driver. And if you think about driving the NASCAR, you know, or stock car sort of racing, of, that feel, that revving up the engine, the seeing the sights as you're going along that track. And, Aries is also very associated with competition, wanting to begin. I always imagine the race when it comes to Aries. I always imagine Aries wanting to be first, Aries wanting to win the race. Go to that finish line with that checkered flag, or whatever it's called, and wanting to win, wanting to be the best. You know, Leo or Leo. I don't know why I say that. It's just kind of the you know um, term if the fire is just sort of squashed out, or it's not as fiery, it's not as bold and bright. I don't know why I come up with that. Like, I think of it's either like, for example, if you get a pepper from your garden, if you get a hot chili pepper, you know, where is the fire dimmed out in your life? Where are you being an armchair astronaut? Where are you putting things off and not doing things? Where are you not moving energy, getting physical? Of where the spice of that pepper goes away to where you just have something that tastes like a pepper. There's no real spice to it, life to the pepper. So, anyway, it's very, another thing about Aries, very self righteous. Um, you know, very strong, very confident, very confident, self confidence. Hello, I'm here. How are you? Sort of thing. Self righteous. Um, they can be leaders. They can be a hero. They will stand up for the underdog. If somebody is in distress, if somebody is going through a hard time, if somebody is hurt in any way, especially family, they're very, very loyal and they can be very, very compassionate and go out of the way and be the hero or heroine and save them and stand up for them because very strong sense of justice because it's opposite to labor, which is all about justice, all about things being fair. So, um, they're very, very passionate, very fiery energy, very feisty energy, very on what they want, and especially Mercury in Aries, very, defending your idea, not afraid to fight, but it can be, my way or the highway, very into engaging in the ways of argument and debate, that sort of passion energy, needing, that, all those fiery things like even drama, or anger, or, just to feel the sense of joy, exuberance, that things aren't stale or dull, or, like you're falling asleep in the middle of a movie, for example, or the quiet room, needing that energy to be kept up. Excitement, new adventures, things that are exciting. And with that comes the gratitude. And I was watching a live stream from Broca Goldsmith, and she was talking about gratitude of all things during this time of year. With the feelings of abundance, with the feelings of gratitude, you can really, really manifest and do so many wonderful things, and it for not to feel stale or lacking, um, or you don't feel worthy, you don't feel, entirely safe, secure, as wonderful as you would like to feel. So, that's also, really, really important point. So, what are things that you feel um, grateful for? That, it's all about living the good life, in the way of, enjoying your life, wanting to enjoy your life and, be very independent and free and discover, the bounty of life, having a real zest for life, that real flavor in that orange or lemon or all those types of things like that. So, I want to talk about Mars. Mars is the ruler of Aries, and it's going to be super duper incredibly important to know where Mars is going to fall during this time. And it will be changing signs, and I will talk about that. So, Mars is the red planet. You see it, you see orange and red, that's Mars. The red desert sands. It could have been Earth, but fate paved way for things to happen, and so it was not to be. But just that color red, I really, really associate it with Aries. So we have Mars. It's all about the primal self, my primal self. The masculine energy, that physical, um, inertian energy, that moving of the body, that getting out and motivating yourself by, um, lifting weights or running or really, um, you know, being in the physical body. There's some, taking those risks, moving energy in the body is so very healing and so essential and really beneficial for Aries. And indeed, if you have your northern star, your north node in Aries, this is also wonderful to, get outside and do things where you can really, really be connected with yourself. So, very masculine. It's all about motivation, all about feeling the real, get up and go energy feeling, feeling the drive in your own life to make things happen and, push your way forward, feeling like you want to get this done, like you want to manifest this, accomplish this in your own life. Incredible motivation um, is with this as well. So, what I just want to another thing with Mars is looking at the aggression. You're a very aggressive, push sort of energy and pushing into life, but also assertion. We want to be assertive, not passive, not, oh, I'm going to let somebody else do this. We're not aggressive where we're, elbowing and hurting others because we want to get our own way. But, knowing what we want, knowing what we desire or need, and coming at it with courage and bravery and, you know, the balance, what is the in between, the middle way of passive and aggressive. Aries is very truthful, wanting truth, wanting things to be real and direct. It's very, very direct. It's very blunt, outward energy. The sun's exalted in the sign. Um, so, indeed. So great for accomplishing new goals and ambitions. So now I'm going to talk about Venus. So Venus is the planet of love and beauty. This is going to be moving, Venus is going to be moving into Pisces on April 5th. So this is going to open up doors for dreaming, doors for any kind of spiritual practice, any kind of thing that will heal you or connect you to the divine. And, last year, Venus was in Pisces during Pisces season. And it was definitely a wonderful 30 days to really go inside and tap into the more creative and mystical sides of things. Um, and I remember there was just this melancholy feeling when the Sun and Venus would leave Pisces, um, when Aries season would begin. So it's wonderful energy for meditation. You getting grounded and you closing your eyes and you connecting to the higher power, the higher force of being. There is a oneness. Pisces, we are all one. We are all connected in this sea of union and communion. It's beautiful for really connecting in really deep ways. Any connection, whether it be family, whether it be a marriage, a worker, it's great to develop that, you know, understanding and um, you know, real psychic um, empath, because Pisces are very empathic um, and very feeling. So going into those realms as well. So oneness, we have this. It's also wonderful for painting or writing poetry, writing a story, music, um, getting out in nature, connecting to the divine, watching a film that, that gives inspiration. That's a, story that you can really feel of somebody's life experience that we're going through, like the Glass Castle, Jeanette Wells, for example. Uh, because when Neptune came about, filming came about. And indeed, you can see this because you were able to watch movies and it's totally not real. It's not real. But you watch it and oh my gosh, it's so real. And it's not. So, imagination, Pisces, you know, there is a disillusion, there is a loss of time, wanting to, lose time, not be bounded, not be limited, just kind of pan and float into this sea and merge and just flow, go with the spontaneous flow of intuition as well. And there was also an opening of your imagination. Now, the next thing, which is very, very close to home with me because I happen to have this placement, Mercury, planet of communication, planet of how you think, your mind, moves into Taurus, which is really, really solid and really stable. And there is a slow sort of element with it. with very plotting. So Mercury in Taurus is not, it's very, very countering, counterbalancing to Aries, which goes right in, you know, the doers, not always the thinkers, very, very impulsive. Mercury, which is the mind, and Taurus, grounded. Okay, well, let's plan. Well, let's plan. Like, is this really what I should be doing? Is this really the right decision that I should be making? Um, thinking very, more um, slowly and steadily about things. We really, really take our time. And also, there is also a heightened attraction to taste, touch, feel, smell, hear, see, the five senses as well. Um, and, also Taurus ruling the throat, so singing as well. So all of these sensual pleasures are going to be really, really key, heightened. There might be more, fixation on certain things. Who knows? But so, um, now that's Mercury. Excuse me. Mercury in the sign of Taurus. Mercury is going to be sextiling, which is very, very harmonious. Sextile, sex and relations, it's getting along well. Sextiling Venus on the 17th of April. So Venus is going to be in Pisces. Mercury is going to be in Taurus. So this is wonderful energy for painting, for writing, for slowing down and enjoying the senses, for just relaxation and taking your time with things and enjoying sitting down in your living room and indulging in watching a movie. It's wonderful energy for steadily reading or writing. Taurus is very physical and taking your time and painting that wonderful painting or doing working on a project that you want to manifest in Aries gives you that motivation. But then Taurus, let's slow down, let's take our time, let's go slow and steady, and we can really, really be comfortable in the body, very nourished, and there's that gratitude in the body when we're doing this. So beautiful for imagination and creativity and all of these themes if you combine these two signs together. I want to talk about the new moon in Aries. So this I'm doing this to give an overview, and I will probably not be talking about every single one of these astrological events because there's so many. So, new moon in Aries. So, when the new moon is in Aries, we have the opportunity to go inside ourselves and think about what it is that we want and what it is that we need, where we are really being independent, and how am I using my self warrior energy, um and reflecting. It's real coming in and reflecting, being very independent, initiating new things. This is wonderful for new beginnings. You know, what do you want to get achieved or accomplished during this time? And your relationship with yourself is highly important during this time. So, as well. So, new goals, starting new things, um, you know, all those themes are very, very related to the new moon. Now, because it's conjunct Mercury, we can put our words We can say things and then act upon them. We can act upon them and then we can talk about them. Now, the full moon in Libra is on April 16th. So, the full moon in Libra, Aries wants to fight, Aries wants to act, Aries wants to, like, think of the god Aries, Ares, going into battle. Very going in, it's very going into battle type energy. Um, to where we want to feel that energy. We want something to really keep us going. And Moon in Libra is all about looking at the beauty of life. And I talked about this at the beginning. The peaceful warrior fighting for love and peace. We're really putting in more of ourselves into relationships, serving others, collaboration, being co-independent instead of co-dependent. And because full moons are a culmination, we are ending relationships, ending things that don't really serve us as well. Or it's a wonderful time to go out because Libra is very, very social. Maybe go out of your house, go out and meet new people. We can really, really bring our personality, our charisma, our needs, our wants, our, enthusiasm, and bring that into relationship and connecting with others. Boundaries, where do I need to think about myself as well? Now, Saturn, the serious planet, we want things to be solid. We want things to really be very traditional, keeping the things the way they are, um, to where we really, really want to work for great things. So Saturn is really commitment. It's all those, those really serious areas of life, those lessons and those challenges that we work to overcome in life. So, it depends upon where it falls and where it's going to fall. If you can look at your chart and find out that and find the house of where Saturn might fall during this time. So, commitment, starting something and then staying the course of it. Um, what's worth it to me? What's worth it to you? What is worth it to you? What do you really need? What do you really want? What do you really deserve? Getting solid in relationships. So, self expression. Yours is very, very related to self expression. Um, I talked about these things at the beginning. Now, Mercury conjunct Jupiter, which is all about expansion and abundance. So, it's a great time to start new ideas, explore new concepts. Watch new documentaries, read new books. Expansion in the mind. Uh, you know, more openness to discovery and learning new things. So it's fabulous energy. And Mercury in Pisces dreaming. So it may be reading fictional novels where, Jupiter's expansion and, thinking of new ideas, dreaming up new worlds and being very, very creative with this as well. So, there is the famous Jupiter Neptune conjunction on April the 12th, 2022. This is something that has not happened since 1856. This is all about dreaming, spiritual connection to the divine. We're co creating a new vision for our life, really tapping into spiritual practices like meditation and so many other things, creative projects, imagining new things, and dreaming up new things is about going below, the surface of that ocean. And again, that merging and that spiritual connection. So, um, talking about Mars. Mars is going to be in Aquarius. So this is very social, very communicative, very individual. It's all about humanitarian. It's all about, being very rebellious and voicing your beliefs, feelings, opinions, being very out of the box, very unique. But then how am I serving and how am I giving to um, community? Uh, so there's also a humanitarian uniqueness with this as well. But then on the 14th of April, it's going to move into Pisces, and this is more reflective. It's softer, it's more dreamy. Um, this can be indirect, a little bit indecisive, maybe going from one thing to another. It's a little um, not the most motivating energy, so it's not, you know, where it's not less than, but it's more reflective, where there's more of an understanding and a compassion with this as well. So, how are we nurturing ourselves during this time? There's also health and healing, um, emotional health and healing, spiritual health and healing. Um, creative projects, things which feels natural, not like, we have to, have that, say Aries energy, that activation energy. It's not as, sort of, doing and achieving and, go, go, go and, you know, having the ambition to climb up that ladder. And then the final thing I want to talk about is on the 18th of April, the Sun square Pluto. So the sun is your ego, the sun is vitality, the sun is super generous. What am I sending to others? How am I giving to others? Looks at the ego, self. Square, having a conversation, fighting with Pluto. So this could really, really be huge. Ego wanting to keep things sort of, the same way. And then Pluto, no, 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 no. Let's destruct this so that we can rebuild anew. Let's transform this. So there's a fighting of energies here. So power, transformation in the ego, as well. Ego transformations, the sun. Um, and there's a lot of control. There's really, really a lot of wanting to, be the one in power and in control. So really watch out if we're if we feel on the verge of using that in negative ways. And that is Aries season 2022. Thank you for tuning in, one and all.